To the students of French from class 9, today we're taking up a new grammar topic, which is the future tenses. This is part of the 5th lesson, Le Voyage en France. Before you read that lesson, please go through this video, which will discuss the tenses. Let's do a quick brush up of our past tenses before we go into the future. So you have 3 past tenses, le passé récent, which is the recent past tense, which is formed by putting venir in the present, followed by de and the full verb. Le passé composé, which is a simple past tense, is formed by putting avoir ou être in the present as the auxiliary, followed by the past participle of the verb. You've already watched the detailed explanation of this tense. And the last past tense is the imparfait, which is the imperfect or simply the past continuous tense. Again, for this you have already watched a separate video. Please revise these 3 past tenses before you go through this video on the future tenses. The first future tense is the near future tense, which is called le futur proche. Just as you have le passé récent, which talks about something that has just happened, the futur proche is talking about something that is just going to happen in the future. So the formation is pretty simple. You just have to put a layer in the present and follow it up with the full verb. So quickly go through the conjugation of a layer. Je vais, tu vas, il va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont. So I've taken for you acheter in the future proche there. Acheter is to buy. So je vais acheter, tu vas acheter, il va acheter, nous allons acheter, vous allez acheter, et ils vont acheter. This is a very simple tense because basically you only need to know a layer properly in the present tense and you can get the future proche for any verb. Take a look at these examples now. I have put in 6 different sentences with the 6 different subjects. So you can see how a layer has been conjugated in the present according to the subject, and then we've just inserted the full verb. Je vais partir pour le marché dans 2 minutes. I'm going to leave for the market in 2 minutes. Tu vas dormir parce que tu es fatigué. You're going to sleep because you're tired. Jenny va manger les fruits bientôt. Jenny is going to eat the fruits soon. Nous allons écrire la lettre maintenant. We are going to write the letter right now. Vous allez lire la nouvelle leçon dans une demi-heure. You are going to read the new lesson in half an hour. Mario et Julio vont vendre leur voiture. Mario and Julio are going to sell their car. Now that we have understood how to form the future proche by simply conjugating a layer and then inserting the full verb, please pause the video here and attempt these 5 questions. You will get the answers on the next slide. Now we're coming into the second future tense, which is the simple future tense. This is the will tense. I will go, you will write, they will sing. Anything with will is the simple future tense. So this is made up of the root and the ending. So how do you get the root? For IR and ER verbs, the root is the full verb. But for RE verbs, remember, you have to cancel off the last E. The endings, you have to learn these by heart. These are the special endings for the simple future tense. A simpler way for you to remember them is to simply remember them as the avoir present conjugation. So for je, the ending is AI. For tu, it is AS. For il, A. Nous, ONS. Vous, EZ. And il, the plural, it is ONT. Learn these endings by heart. It will help you to conjugate the future tense for any verb. Slide, you can see how the future tense has been conjugated for the 3 regular families. For ER and IR, take the full verb and add the endings, and for RE, one minor change is you have to delete the E before you add the endings. Now there are some verbs which show a slight exception when you're taking the future root. You don't take the verb, the infinitive as it is, you have to make a minor modification. So the first set of verbs is those which have their last 4 letters as E-ER. So one method you have to use is you put an accent grave on the first T. So for example, passer, to way, becomes passer as the future root only, but notice that the accent has been added on the first T. Similarly for modeler, to model, lever to lift, ashtir to buy, maner to lead. The second strategy which some verbs use is to double the consonant in between the e's. So two famous examples for this technique are jeter, which becomes J-E-T-T-E-R. Jeter is to throw, and appeler, the L in between, becomes a double L. Appeler is to call. Verbs ending with YER change their endings to IER for the future root. For example, payer to pay, essuyer to wipe, employer to employ. Except for envoyer, which changes completely. You will get it in the next few slides. Then verbs ending with RIR, delete that I in between, it becomes RR. Mourir to die, courir to run, conquérir to conquer. And lastly, the verbs ending with ENIR change into IENDR. So venir to come, tenir to hold, devenir to become. As in any tense in the future simple as well, there are some verbs which completely change their roots from the infinitive. So this has to be learned by heart, this list. Avoir is to have, faire is to do or to make, savoir is to know, être is to be, vouloir is to want, recevoir is to receive, envoyer is to send, pouvoir is to be able to, voir is to see, aller is to go, and devoir is to have to or must. This list has to be learned by heart. Here are some practical examples of the simple future tense which has been employed in certain sentences. J'irai chez mon oncle et ma tante le mois prochain. I will go to my aunt and uncle's place next month. Tu dormiras parce que tu es fatigué. You will sleep because you are tired. Jenny mangera les fruits demain. Jenny will eat the fruits tomorrow. Nous écrirons la lettre la semaine suivante. We will write the letter next week. Vous essaierez des nouveaux sports. You will try some new sports. Mario et Julio vendront leur voiture. Mario and Julio will sell their car. If you have understood how to form the simple future tense, please go ahead and pause the video, try these exercises. Be careful with the second set of 5 sentences because those are with the irregular future roots. Be careful, do it slowly and try to get it all correct. You will get the answers on the next slide. Thank you and have a nice day.